Is there any hope for men and women when it comes to dating in this modern world? Hey, Jason here. If you've been watching the channel, you now see me. I'm on my 9th year as a full-time expat slash nomad, resettling down in the on my 4th country, 3rd continent, which is in Lusaka, Zambia. And I'm starting to share with you tips and tricks that I've learned along my journeys. And most importantly, if you're an expat or thinking about becoming an expat, why you should consider Lusaka or Zambia as an option because of the opportunities that exist here. And so in today's video, I'm going to be using some of the information I learned through my 10-year marriage. If you didn't know, I was married for 10 years. We was in a relationship total for 15. And it lasted up until she passed away in 2022. And so I like to use some of that advice, things that I've learned through counseling, marriage therapy, all of those things we were doing to just help the next person. Because one thing, I'm starting to see a few things out here. One, people are lying to get money. A lot of these relationship experts, dating coaches, or red pill people, they're just lying. They're not telling you the truth. And they're not people who even had or even trying to have a real relationship. And I think majority of the men and women out here do really want a good relationship, but they're listening to the wrong people. And this is why things are so chaotic now. And so today's video, I was watching the Pop the Balloon and Find Love reunion. I think it's BM Talks is the name of it. And I was watching it through T Pendle's reaction. So check it out on YouTube if you haven't. And they had the man and woman on there. They didn't match on the show, but it was one of those. I don't know why they put them. They did a reaction with them, the follow up, because they didn't match, and they were really just arguing a lot on the show. Because the lady took offense to him saying, when they asked what's a deal breaker, he said a bad wig. Now we all know, if you've watched it, that he was joking, and man, she took offense to it. It is what it is. But I'm really loving these new reality shows on YouTube, especially the dating ones, because it's showing you the paradigm of dating culture. Paradigm is just habitual behaviors, beliefs, things of that nature. It's a set pattern. And it helps create our identity around things that we expect the world to give us or show up to us as. And just remember, I always want to say this. Your ego is not the enemy. Your identity is the enemy. The identity is the thing that can express our attitude to where it can be toxic or positive. Unfortunately, most of us are not aware of our identities because it's not something psychologically we've been taught to be aware of. So we hold on to these beliefs as if they are grounded. They're still like, this is who I am. I'm not changing. And we should always want to change to become a better person. So how do you actually get a positive, healthy, happy relationship? And I wrote this down. So I have my notes that I'm reading on. I was writing down notes as I was just watching the show and listening. To get a true, positive, healthy, happy relationship, whether it's dating, marriage, it's about constant, please hear that word, constant adaptation for the good of peace. So I want to read that one more time. To obtain a positive, healthy, happy relationship, it is about constant adaptation for the good of peace. Now, if you're someone that's been married, let me know in the comments what you think about that definition. Because most married people, they're so busy focused on their relationship and having peace in their relationship, they don't have time to do these videos like I'm doing now, where I'm actually taking time to to do this information. And if you probably noticed and you've seen my channel, even when Cece was alive, like while we were in Colombia, we wasn't talking much about our marriage. You know what we were doing? We were in seminars. We were doing couples therapy, doing couples coaching. Like, we were building and growing to express the peace in our relationship. And it was about constant adaptation. We were constantly focused on, how can we make this marriage better? How can we make it happier? How can we make it healthier? How can we make it more peaceful? And so it was a beautiful thing, man. Like, when the pandemic hit, like, that 2 years locked up in the house, It was amazing. We were having fun. We were having international date days. We had different tablecloths. If we didn't have a tablecloth, we would go just buy a new sheet and use it as a tablecloth. We were cooking different meals. Like, we really enjoyed one another that time locked up. Like, it was fun, man. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's sad to say this, but I miss those days because it was wonderful, man. Just having someone that you know you can laugh, talk with. When you need silence, it's just silence. Like, it was amazing. And it was because we were about constant adaptation for the good of peace in our marriage. And so the three things that I'm going to really focus on is communication, intimacy, and respect. And all of these are coming from the perspective of a relationship. Now, one of the things that we have to understand is this is the first time in recorded history. This is the first time. People don't realize this. It's the first time in recorded history majority relationships are being chosen on an individual basis, meaning it's about our perspective. Just a few generations ago, you did not have the opportunity to truly choose who you want to be with. And the reason being is in the past, our relationships were based off communal traditions. Even if you're in the United States, there was a communal tradition there. And what that was is you met your person through school. You met high school sweethearts. That's communal. College sweethearts. That's communal. Workplace. That's communal. Like here in Africa, it's usually through the village, the tribal cousins, things like that. Like, you met people through communal traditions. This was the entire world. I know sometimes Western people like to think like they're different. Like we've been modernized. Nothing's different in this world. You may use a different word to express it, but it is the exact same thing. Once you start traveling and seeing the world for what it really is, you see nothing's different. All governments are the same. All issues are the same. All media outlets are the same. Everything's the same. Even the foods. Like here they eat in Shima. South Africa, they call it pop. And in the United States and Texas, we call it grits. The only difference here is they eat it a little lumpier and they let it solidify, where we eat it more soupy. Same thing. Nothing's different. And so we really have to understand that we live on one planet. This planet ain't even that big anymore. The planet has shrunk so much. We can talk and send things around the world in a matter of seconds. Like, I had to send some paperwork back to my mom last week for her to mail it off for me. And guess what I did? I went to the print place, printed it off, signed everything I needed to sign, scanned it, and emailed it right back to her. And she was able to send it off the next day. We're talking about something that used to take months. Probably would have took almost a year to do if you was using the old postal system, things going through from ship or airplane. These things are done in seconds now. The world is tiny. The only reason it still feels big is because we think it's big, and it's really not. And so let's get into the first part, communication. Now, communication when it comes to a relationship is understanding masculine and feminine energy. So many times people assign masculinity to a male, femininity to a woman. Masculine doesn't mean penis. Feminine does not mean vagina. It is an energy. We're not talking about the physical. We're talking about energy. There's masculine energy and feminine energy, the yin and the yang. This is what we all have in us. To create a peaceful relationship or marriage, you must balance off the masculinity and the femininity. And you do that in several different ways. One of the ways, and I'm going to use me as an example for the masculine and feminine energy, how it was for Cece and I, she controlled the money. And you may be like, why? Because if you read a lot of stuff, it tell you, oh, masculine energy should control money. That does not mean the man. It means who is better, who's stronger at that energy of controlling money. And she was stronger than me. Her masculine energy towards money was better than mine. I'm more of an emotional spender. So for me, with money, I had more of a feminine energy towards it. Now it has shifted because she's no longer here, but it was her that helped me become better at it. Like, that is the yin and the yang, how it blends together into perfect harmony. And there was other parts of the relationship where I was more masculine, she was more feminine, and vice versa. So like, please understand that. So communication between is masculine and feminine is understanding masculine and feminine energy in your relationship. It's going to change depending on who you are with. So like for me in this new era that I'm dating again, like, you know, I got so comfortable with knowing how everything was. It's different sometimes. It's like, yo, what the hell? Even with me, I'm like, I'm not feeling this, bruh. And so you have to understand with your communication, you must balance out the masculine and feminine energy, and it's based off who you are. I mean, just move over a little bit so I don't have a cleaner. All right, there we go. And so if you have any questions about that, just leave them down in the comments. And make sure if you ask the question, make sure you put which one are you wanting more about. If it's communication, intimacy, or respect. And I'll do a bigger video on it where I can just break it down one at a time if you like. Then let's go to intimacy. Intimacy is knowing what is supposed to be only between the couple. Boundaries for who, what, and where you discuss certain things. So let me read that again. Intimacy is knowing what is supposed to be only between the couple and having boundaries for who, what, and where you discuss certain things. This is one of the biggest problems that I'm seeing on a lot of these dating shows. People just want to blab their mouth out and just talk too damn much. You need to understand certain things just need to be shut up. You should not be putting your personal information on Facebook. People should not be able to go on Facebook and know one of your partners cheating or know this happened or that happened. Like, shut the hell up. And this is one of the problems that a lot of people are having. Social media is not social media. Like, YouTube is a form of social media. This is not social. This is business. Social media is business. People need to understand that. We all need to. It is not the place to express who you are, or I'm going to keep it real. You need to be highly filtered on social media. Quit putting your personal life out there. Because the people who are all in the comments, like, oh, leave him, leave her, this, that, they don't give a damn about your relationship. And most of them just don't want to see you happy anyway. The truth is, most people do not like to see other people happy. I don't understand why. It's one of the most silliest things in the world, but then they think they're going to find happiness. As above is below. The way you truly feel about the next person is what you're going to be truly attracting to yourself. Like, we have to understand that. So your relationship needs to be intimate. Don't go telling your family your problems. Don't go telling your family how bad your partner is. That's none of their damn business. Because what you're not doing is counterbalancing all the good things your partner is doing. And this is where then you start seeing your family. Oh, that's a bird. This is where you start seeing your family hates your spouse or your partner. And then you're getting mad at them, and he or she is mad at them. And then you're wondering why there's no harmony in the relationship. Because you put them in your business that was intimate between you and your partner. Also, what do you say? If you're not going to praise your partner, just don't say anything about them at all. If you're not going to praise them, don't say anything at all. People are going to always remember the negative. Because let's say you talk about your partner. Let's just say your partner, I don't even want to use cheating because that's such an easy one. Let's say if your partner was out late at night or something, not cheating, not doing anything wrong, but just out hanging with his friends a lot. And you're posting that on social media. Oh, this blah, blah, blah out on social media. And then the moment he does something nice, buy you flowers, that someone's going to be in the comments like, oh, he's just making up for this. Oh, she just doing this. That's none of their damn business. You should have not disclosed any of that information with them. You should have went to your partner and told your partner, look, this is the behavior that I'm seeing. I don't really care for this. This is how it's making me feel. And if you're about having a positive, healthy, happy relationship, which remember is about constant adaptation for the good of peace, your partner will adapt their behavior to create better peace. The moment one party is not having peace, the relationship is no longer in harmony. One of the things that I had stopped doing when I was married Like I'm gonna be honest with you, I like strip clubs. It doesn't mean that it's just something that I grew up going. I went to the first strip club, I think 15, 16. And it's just something that I like strip clubs. I like going to watch the games. Like back when I was drinking, I could just go have a beer or two, relax. It was just a good place. Like, you know, you ain't finding people fighting. You ain't got to worry about shootouts like in the club or people getting pissy drunk and now they want to, you know, put their chest all out. So like for me, a strip club was just a safe, neutral place. Mainly women. I used to have stripper friends, so we would just chit chat, talk. I could go to a game, didn't have to worry about all these fanatic fanboys and then they want to fight because you don't like their team. Just stupid stuff. But one of the things that Cece was like, she's like, yo, you know, do you think you want to continue doing this? And then I really thought about it. I was like, I can understand why that's not bringing a peaceful, it's not keeping the relationship in harmony. So I stopped doing it. And guess what? I like to be at home now. I don't even like being out at night anymore. So the odds of me even going to a strip club much is very, very few. And I don't miss it. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't miss it while I was married. I enjoyed spending the time with her because we had adapted for the good of peace. Our relationship was in harmony. It was happy. It was fun to talk to her every day, fun to talk to her every night, fun to have our little rituals that we had as a relationship. And so really think about that. Really think about that. Like, and if you're married, let them know in the comments how you're doing some of these things. I think people need to hear from actual happy, healthy relationships instead of hearing from these toxic people that are just trying to get checks from you or just trying to make themselves look better than others. And it's not for any good purpose at all. And then also where you discuss things. Don't be arguing on social media, like I said earlier, but also in public. When you in public, it need to be, this is the relationship in public. It's not me as Jason. It's not you as who you are. This is the relationship in public. People need to see the relationship. It is not you as an individual. Remember, this goes back to identity. Ego is not the enemy. The identity is the enemy. Most of us are in relationships identifying as single people. Once you get in a relationship, you're no longer a single person. You must change your identity to the relationship. That means you're stripping parts of yourself away and you're giving to the relationship. That is how I did when I did the strip club. That's one of the reasons I quit drinking. People don't know this. Like, even though I haven't drunk in 3 years, even before then, like I was only drinking maybe once or twice a year. And I mean like a few beers, like when we would go on cruises, stuff like that, we would share like the drink of the day because we wanted the little cups. And we would have, like when we had a house in DeSoto on our bookshelf, we used our little souvenir cups from the cruise ships as our book end markers. And that was the relationship. Like that's what we did. And so just really be mindful of where you're discussing certain things and how you're showing up as a relationship, as a couple. Like, please be mindful of that. And then the last thing is respect. Respect is having a positive mentor to go to for relationship advice. See, you thought it was going to be something else, didn't you? Respect is having a positive mentor to go to for relationship advice. To respect your relationship means you're going to go to someone who's going to be honest with you. You're going to go to someone who's going to tell you the truth and tell you when you're wrong. So many of us want to hear people to just agree with us. We don't want to change. And that goes back to identity. Identity is the enemy. And it's going to always be the enemy in relationships. And so ask yourself, who is that person that you go to for relationship advice? Are they married? How long have they been married? Are they a present father or mother in the lives of those kids? You know how many people I see give advice on about relationships on the internet and they have no damn relationship? They have kids by multiple women, kids by multiple men. You know, they're in a relationship after relationship after. You just go through their feed, you just see, oh, I'm happy in love with this person. Oh, this SOB or this chick did this. Oh, I'm with this person now. We're talking about less than the span of months. Like, that is wrong. Like, that is wrong. You can't just jump from relationship to relationship. And it's men and women that are doing this because everybody's posting this nonsense on social media. So you can truly see what the paradigm and the habitual behaviors are of people when it comes to dating. And also for respect, you must learn to flex your active listening muscle. Listening is a muscle. We have passive listening and we have active listening. The active listening muscle is not a muscle that we actually work out. We've all been taught to have passive listening. And what I mean by that is the school system that we all grew up in teaches us passive listening. You're supposed to listen and recall. That is not active listening. That is passive listening. To do active listening, you're listening to respond. Passive listening is listening to react. That is how most of us are wired. Even today, I'm still wired that way. It's not something you're going to break up in like a couple of days or, oh, I did a little bit of shadow work, I'm clear now. Bullshit. I'm still working through trauma from years of my life. I'm still working through trauma from CC passing away. You know, everybody thinks like it's such a romantic thing to your loved one pass away in your arms. Bullshit. It's traumatic. Man, if you knew how long it took me to just be able to sleep comfortably at night, and I'm still not even 100% comfortable. Like, I don't even really like people sleeping next to me. Like, if I'm dating someone, I'm like, you know, I used to wake up just to make sure they're breathing. Like, that shit is traumatic. Like, you have to work on these things constantly. Like, and remember, it goes back to a positive, healthy, happy relationship is about constant adaptation for the good of peace. Constant is the key word. Constant does not have an ending. Like, it's just the beginning. Like, you don't even focus on ending it. You just focus on starting it and doing it and continually doing it. And so make sure you're flexing and building your active listening muscle, because you have to respond instead of react. This is why people are so angry. Like watching that show, the BM Talk, where the T panel was reacting to, they were just reacting. They were just, reacting. They wasn't responding to one another. The person can be in the middle of a conversation and blah, 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 and it's like, calm down. You're not getting anywhere here. And you know what the sad truth is, at the end of the day, they will probably be a good couple for each other. They were probably an actually good match. And this is why a lot of people are missing their matches. And I'm going to be honest with you. I know sometimes I do these videos, some people be like, oh, he don't know what the hell he's talking about. Oh, whatever. Lucky him. He don't understand. He's from a different, ain't nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. I'm back in the dating game, and guess what? Ain't nothing changed. It's the same shit as it was when I first started dating, when I decided I wanted to be in a relationship. Ain't nothing different. You have good people, you have bad people, and you have people that just don't know what the hell they want. But I'm going to tell you this, if you're not going to do any of these three things to actively change the identity of who you are to be in a relationship, this is the only thing you need to do. Go to any animal shelter, any place you can buy animals, just buy your cat and dog and live happy with that cat and dog. You're not going to have a happy, healthy relationship. You're not going to have to force someone to be who you want them to be. And this goes for men and women. For women, I'm going to tell you right now, majority guys do not like fake hair. They don't like fake nails. They sure as hell don't like BBLs. That is such a small group of men that like those things. Like you're in a pool of, you're talking about maybe 5% of men in the world. Like those are very, very few men. Most men, I'm going to tell you right now, most women don't want to be in no kitchen cooking and cleaning for some sorry ass dude sitting on the couch. Most women do not want to be cleaning a house all day for some dude who don't even want to go to work. Like, do better. Like, we have to do better as people. And this is just one of the things I'm telling you, if you follow these three things, communication, intimacy, and respect, and you do these things and actively do them in your relationship, you're going to see your relationship becoming positive, healthy, happy. That's how I was able to do it, man. I was not given the foundation of it. I did not grow up in a home where you saw people marry. The last person that was married in my family was my Aunt Gloria and King. And by the time I really could understand things, they were already divorced. But I knew that they were married at one time. Like I grew up with most of my uncles from my mom's side. They were drug addicts. Like, that's what I grew up. That was the male representation, drug addicts and drug dealers. And so I had to tell myself at a young age, I have to discover what I want. Because if I'm going to get married and something like that, I have to figure out how to do it, because I want it to just be for a lifetime. And I was very, very blessed to be able to do that. Even though my marriage didn't last as long as I wanted it to, it lasted the lifetime of the marriage. I can honestly say I was blessed, even though it was traumatic, having my wife pass away on me unexpectedly. But I was blessed. We actively worked on our things. We focused on our communication. We understood who we were as the masculine and feminine energy. We reassigned those roles based off of that. We focused on our intimacy, knowing what was supposed to be only between us. We didn't talk bad about one another to other people. We also had boundaries for who, what, and where we discussed things. We had a family time on every Sunday. We would come together. It was a neutral, safe place. And any issues, any concerns we had for the relationship, we brought them there. We discussed them. And when we was doing our family time, we had respect. We was going to it through active listening. We were responding to one another, not reacting to one another. We would listen. We would absorb the information that was being said. And then we were actually saying, like, okay, if you're feeling this way, I'm doing something. How can I do better? Also, we had our positive mentors to get us to help us to go to for the relationship advice. We were doing couples counseling. We were doing couples therapy. We were doing couples seminars. We were doing these things. We were building our business together. Like, all of these things we were actually doing, and this is how we were able to do it. And so if you truly want to build a happy, healthy relationship, these are the 3 things you need to focus on. So make sure you save this video, like it, share it with someone that you know that's going through some relationship advice. Maybe that's the information they need. You never know. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I will get back to them. And if you want me to detail or give more personal stories about any of these, just let me know down in the comments and I'll do a video about it. But most importantly, just remember this: I'm Jason, and success is simple once you know how.